Hi there, my name is Nils with Learn to DIY, and today we'll be showing you how you can easily install or replace a toilet. So the order of operations for getting the water out of the toilet is, the first thing we're going to do is turn the water off down here at the line. After we've got that done, we're going to flush, and I'm going to hold down the handle to let as much of the water out of the tank as possible. And then next we're going to use a sponge to clean out all of the water out of the tank and out of the bowl as well. So now that we've got the water out there as much as we can, I can now disconnect from the bottom of the tank. We're ready to remove the toilet. So the first thing we need to do is take off these decorative caps here. And you can usually use a flathead screwdriver. And sometimes you can actually just squeeze these. There we go. This one kind of threads off a little bit. There we go, and it pops off. Then under here, oh, this is already loose, but we've got just a simple brass nut and bolt here. I'm going to take everything off. We're now ready to take the toilet completely out. You've got a couple of options. One, you can remove the tank from the bowl or from the base. There's a couple of bolts inside the tank that you can loosen up to do that. If you're able to, and you can get it all out in one movement, that's probably a lot easier and simpler and faster. So that's what I'm gonna do. Make sure to lift with your legs and then pull this thing back, and just be careful that it's a little bit back heavy as well. There we go, so it kind of breaks off the wax seal. Now before we continue with the toilet replacement, and on the topic of toilets, I want to tell you about our sponsor for today's video, Clear Rear. Clear Rear not only has probably the coolest logo I've ever seen, but they also have a pretty hilarious website, and they definitely take their potty humor very seriously. But they sent us a bidet to try out, and if you're like me, I've just never tried a bidet in my life, never actually really wanted to. It always sounded kind of weird, but a buddy of mine said it was a life-changing experience when he and his wife got a warm water bidet, and I have to say, I agree. They're actually pretty awesome. Now the installation process on these is actually a lot easier than you might think. You don't have to have any special plumbing skills, there's no electricity involved or anything like that. It does require hot water if you want to use the Grand Duke here. But you also have the option to use the Butler, B-U-T-T-L-E-R, and that one just uses cold water. And I've tried this with just cold water, and it's not as bad as you might think. I was kind of like, no way, but it's actually pretty decent still. I do prefer the hot water, and I've got a video showing right here exactly how I installed the hot water system in my house, and it literally took about an hour, and my goodness, I'm glad I did. Now if you and your tush are ready to have a seriously upgraded bathroom experience, then click the link in the description below where you can save 20% off your Clear Rear products today. And now let's continue getting this toilet replaced. All right, with the toilet out, we're going to take out this wax ring to start with. And this one's actually in pretty darn good shape. Usually they're a little bit more deteriorated and gross. Yeah, if we can get it all out in mostly one piece like this, that's ideal. Now this down here is our flange. The flange is what is connected to the drain pipe. And so I'm going to try to clean this up as best I can, get this wax out of there. And it's in really good shape. So yours might not look like this. You might have different issues. It might be corroded or deteriorated. You can replace these pretty easily. And you can see here there are 4 brass screws that are holding this into the subflooring here. And so every setup's going to be a little bit different. But basically you want to make sure that your flange is in decent shape so that you can connect your closet bolts, these ones right here, onto it. We're going to take all this up because we want to make sure that the new toilet sits flush on the floor. So today, instead of a wax ring, which is the traditional ring that we would normally use and has been around for ages, this is a toilet seal that's made out of foam. This is sold by Corky. I'll put links in the description below for this. It does come with a 10-year warranty on it, and it really fits any toilet. It's simple to use and doesn't leave any mess. So we'll show you how this works. I forgot to mention this earlier, but as soon as you expose the pipe here, it's a good idea to plug it up. I've just got a wad of toilet paper in here, and that's just to prevent any fumes from coming up out of the pipe. Now with the old closet bolts out, we've got the new closet bolts. A lot of times they'll come with the toilet itself, or in this case, they've got a set that comes with the Corky toilet seal here. So I'm gonna slide one of those in here, and another over here. And then we've got these little white locking nylon washers that should slide down over it. And they'll help keep the bolts upright. There we go. Now next, you want to check on the instructions that come with the toilet seal as far as the height that you need to have here. In our case here, the flange and the floor are actually even, and so I'm going to use both rings on here. It's going to be a full seal, so I'm going to slide this down on here. At this point, I'm going to take the plug out. We're ready to go ahead and put the toilet on. All right, at this point we've got the bowl in, and you can see it's rocking back and forth a little bit. That's okay, it's actually sitting on top of that foam ring. As soon as you put some weight on it and compress it, then it holds in place, which is ideal. Now that we've got the toilet in place, we've got a few parts to put together on the bolt here. We've got the metal washer, then we have this decorative washer that we're gonna put on after that, and then we're gonna thread the nut on after that. I found that a lot of times if you try to put the white decorative washer down, it will actually kind of crimp down and make it hard to snap the cover onto it. So I like to put this on second. We'll tighten that down just hand tight for now. We want to be sure to fasten both the right side and the left side a little at a time and not over tighten it and run the risk of cracking the porcelain. Now in our case, when putting these bolts on, the bolts aren't too long actually. The cap should snap on here just fine, but if they are too long, you can just use one of these little mini hacksaws, and this is a brass bolt, so it should actually be pretty easy to cut through. So I'll cut a little section off just to show you how easy that is. There we go. So you want to make sure to cut it at least down to where you've got plenty of room for your decorative cap to sit on top there. With the bowl in place, we're going to assemble the top of the toilet and get everything set up there. Yours might already be in one piece and already assembled, but we're just about ready to hook up the water and finish this thing off. Now, just like with anything around the toilet, when you're tightening things down, you want to make sure not to over tighten it. And the same goes for when we're putting the tank onto the lower bowl here. Now in this case, the new toilet actually has a higher tank than the old one, so the supply line here is too short to reach up to the new tank. So we're going to have to take that off, and as long as we've got the water continuing to stay off, we should just be able to remove this here. Okay, we can take that out, and then we've got a longer metal braided hose here to put in. There we go. And then it should just thread right here onto the bottom of the tank. Kind of bottoms out there, that's good. Now, with the new toilet in, it's just a matter of turning the water supply back on, doing a couple of tests, and making sure that we're good to go. So our tank will fill up first, and as soon as it gets to the right level, we'll do a quick test flush and make sure we're all set. All right, let's give it the inaugural flush and make sure everything's working. All right, everything looks good, no leaking, everything's in place, and that's it. And with that, the toilet is in and we're all set. So hopefully this video helps you to install a new toilet or replace one in your home. Now, if you do have a loose seat, we've got another video that you can check out on how to tighten that down or replace a toilet seat with one of those nice soft closing seats, which you can check out right over here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.